53. Saṃyutta Nikāya 12, Sutta 11, The Food Discourse. This is what I have heard. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Savatthi in Jita's Grove, Tipitaka's Park. There the Blessed One addressed the monks. Monks, there are these 4 kinds of nutriment for the maintenance of beings that already have come to be and for the support of those seeking a new existence. What 4? First, physical food, gross or subtle. Second, contact. Third, mental volition. And fourth, consciousness. These 4 are nutriments for the maintenance of beings that already have come to be and for the support of those seeking a new existence. Monks, these 4 kinds of nutriment, what is their source? What is their origin? From what are they born and produced? These 4 kinds of nutriment have craving as their source, craving as their origin. They are born and produced from craving. And this craving, what is its source? What is its origin? For what is it born and produced? Craving has feeling as its source, feeling as its origin. It is born and produced from feeling. And this feeling, what is its source? What is its origin? From what is it born and produced? Feeling has contact as its source, contact as its origin. It is born and produced from contact. And this contact, what is its source? What is its origin? From what is it born and produced? Contact has the 6 sense bases as its source, the 6 sense bases as its origin. It is born and produced from the 6 sense bases. And these 6 sense bases, what is their source? What is their origin? From what are they born and produced? The 6 sense bases have name and form as their source, name and form as their origin. They are born and produced from name and form. And this name and form, what is its source? What is its origin? From what is it born and produced? Name and form has consciousness as its source, consciousness as its origin. It is born and produced from consciousness. And this consciousness, what is its source? What is its origin? From what is it born and produced? Consciousness has volitional formations as its source, volitional formations as its origin. It is born and produced from volitional formations. And these volitional formations, what is their source? What is their origin? From what are they born and produced? Volitional formations have ignorance as their source, ignorance as their origin. They are born and produced from ignorance. Thus, monks, with ignorance as condition, volitional formations come to be. With volitional formations as condition, consciousness comes to be. Such is the origin of this whole mass of suffering. But with the remainderless fading away and cessation of ignorance comes cessation of volitional formations. With the cessation of volitional formations comes cessation of consciousness. Such is the cessation of this whole mass of suffering. End of the first sutta. The 4 kinds of nutriment mentioned in Buddhism are an important concept that refers not only to material food, but also to spiritual and psychological nourishment. These 4 types of nutriment are 1. Material food. This is what we typically understand as food, i.e., solid and liquid nutrients ingested through the mouth. It includes the meals, fruits, etc. that we eat daily. This type of food maintains our bodily functions. 2. Contact. This refers to the nourishment obtained through contact between our 6 senses, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, and the external world. For example, seeing beautiful scenery, hearing pleasant music, smelling fragrances, etc. This type of food affects our emotions and psychological state. 3. Mental volition. This refers to our thoughts, intentions, and aspirations. It includes our plans, dreams, expectations, etc. This type of food drives our behaviors and decisions. 4. Consciousness. This refers to our consciousness and subconscious. It includes our habits, underlying thought patterns, and deep psychological tendencies. This type of food influences our long-term behavioral patterns and personality traits. The concept of these 4 types of food reminds us that we need to pay attention not only to the intake of material food, but also to other forms of nourishment that affect us. Our physical and mental health depends not only on what we eat, but also on what we see, think, and our state of consciousness. Through mindfulness and awareness, we can better choose and control these foods to improve our physical and mental health. In Buddhist practice, understanding and properly managing these 4 types of food is considered an important path to liberation and enlightenment. This passage explains the concept of the 4 types of nutriment in Buddhism and the principle of the 12 links of dependent origination. It elaborates on the causal chain from ignorance to aging and death, and how to end this cycle of suffering by eliminating ignorance. This teaching emphasizes the interdependence of all phenomena and how to achieve liberation by understanding and breaking these causal relationships. For a detailed and vivid explanation of the 12 links of dependent origination, please refer to Saṃyutta Nikāya 12, Suttas 1 and 2, which will not be explained here again. This passage deeply elaborates on one of the core teachings of Buddhism, the law of dependent origination. Let's analyze its profound meaning step by step. 1. The concept of 4 nutriments. The Buddha proposes 4 types of food, referring not only to material food, but also to contact, mental volition, and consciousness. This expands our understanding of nourishment, indicating that our existence depends not only on material substances, but also on spiritual and psychological factors. 2. Craving as the root. The Buddha points out that the source of these 4 types of food is craving. This reveals how our attachment to various experiences drives our behavior and existence. 3. Tracing the causal chain. Starting from craving, the Buddha traces step by step back to ignorance. This process demonstrates the profound interdependence between things, also known as dependent origination. 4. Ignorance as the ultimate root. Ignorance is identified as the starting point of the entire causal chain. This indicates that our misunderstanding of reality is the root of all suffering. 5. The arising and cessation of suffering. The text points out that due to ignorance, the entire process of suffering begins, and through the elimination of ignorance, this process can be terminated. Deep reflections. 1. The interdependent nature of reality. This passage reveals the interdependence of all things in the world. Are we aware that each of our actions and thoughts is affecting the entire causal network? 2. The nature of craving. Many of our daily behaviors stem from craving. Reflect on how our desires and attachments affect our quality of life and sense of happiness. 3. The impact of ignorance. Ignorance is described as the most fundamental cause. Do we often make wrong decisions or cause unnecessary suffering due to misunderstanding the nature of things? 4. The possibility of liberation. The text indicates that by eliminating ignorance, the entire process of suffering can be terminated. This gives us hope, suggesting that through wisdom and enlightenment, we can be liberated from suffering. 5. The importance of self-awareness. Understanding this causal chain is crucial for self-awareness. Do we often reflect on the roots of our thoughts and behaviors? 6. The nourishment of life. The concept of 4 nutriments reminds us that the nourishment of life is not just material. Do we pay equal attention to our spiritual and psychological needs? 7. The power of change. Since everything is interdependent, changing one link can potentially affect the entire system. This gives us hope and power to change ourselves and the world around us. This passage is not just a philosophical discourse, but more of a practical guide. It invites us to deeply observe our inner selves and the external world, understand the connections between them, and seek liberation and peace through this understanding. In this process, we may discover that true wisdom is not just the accumulation of knowledge, but a profound insight into the essence of life and the inner transformation that comes from it.